What is going on, Pats Nation? It's Patriots Global here, back with another video. And what other video would this be other than a signing video, because that's all Belichick has allowed me to make over the last few days. But New England is adding some more depth at the linebacker position, and this linebacker position is really taking a full 180 compared to what we saw last season, and you gotta love it. But this time they are signing former Miami Dolphin and former Las Vegas Raider in linebacker Raekwon McMillian. Now, McMillian was actually drafted in the second round of the 2017 NFL Draft. I don't know what it is with Bill Belichick liking the earlier defensive players. They just signed a defensive tackle who was selected in the third round of the 2017 draft also. So Belichick definitely looking into that 2017 draft class for sure. But McMillian missed his entire rookie season with an ACL injury, and that is definitely the last type of injury that you want to go with in your rookie year. But despite him missing his rookie season with an ACL injury, he logged 105 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, and a single pass breakup in 2018, coming off of that missed rookie year. He played in 13 games in 2019 when he had 72 tackles and 2 quarterback hits. Miami then traded him during this past season, the 2020 season, to the Raiders, in which he logged just 27 tackles in 2020. Definitely wasn't a great addition, I would say, for the Raiders, and he definitely performed better with the Miami Dolphins. So the trade definitely did not suit McMillian too well. Now, straight off the bat, just like the last signing that I talked about, this is going to be more depth purposes. I don't see him being a starter at all. And I also don't necessarily see him making this roster. I think that the Patriots will keep him around for camp, and I think that that's a good idea. I think it's a good idea to keep him around for training camp in the offseason. Just see if you could potentially get anything more out of him. I firmly believe that if anyone is going to get more out of him, it is going to be Bill Belichick and the Pats. But of course, it is also worth noting that he had been with the Miami Dolphins over the last couple seasons, and so it is a fairly familiar system with Brian Flores that Bill Belichick has here with the Pats. Now, if this was last year, he easily would have been a starter in the Patriots defense, but obviously the Patriots have significantly upgraded, and they are very, very crowded in the linebacker core right now. With Dante Hightower returning, the addition of Matthew Judon, the return of Kyle Van Noy, you have Jawan Bentley, Chase Winovich, Josh Uche, Anthony Jennings, Terez Hall. There's a lot of guys at the linebacker position. Now, the best way that I would compare McMillian that all Patriots fans would be able to understand is Jawan Bentley, or not Jawan Bentley, but a Landon Roberts. That is the best way that I would compare the type of a linebacker that he is. He's a guy that can rush the passer a little bit. He's someone that is a pretty good run defender, but he's someone that is pretty slow, kind of sluggish. He's athletic, but the second you put him in coverage, you are going to regret it. If somehow the quarterback is able to get McMillian matched up against a wide receiver, a tight end, a running back out of the backfield, they are going to be extremely, extremely successful when targeting McMillian. Now, this past year when PFF graded him, they gave him an overall grade of 30.3. Not good at all. They gave him a run defensive grade of 56. They gave him a pass rush grade of 58.4, so that was his best attribute this past season. But what really brought him down was his coverage. They gave him a coverage grade of 28.9. This past season, they gave him 18 solo tackles with 3 assisted and 1 forced fumble. He played a total of just 170 snaps. They gave him 87 run defensive snaps. They gave him 9 pass rush snaps, and they gave him 74 coverage snaps. The Raiders really did not utilize him the way that they should have, which I think was definitely a failed trade for them. They used him mostly as a run defender, and that was great. They used him correctly in that sense, but 74 coverage snaps, not smart by them at all, and only giving him 9 pass rush attempts. Now, I want to look back at the 2019 season when he was with Miami because, again, that is more reflective on how he's going to do with the Patriots and how the Patriots are going to utilize him because it's very much a familiar system between Brian Flores and Bill Belichick in that defensive scheme. So, to give some more perspective on him, in 2019 when he played that full-on season with the Miami Dolphins rather than being traded to the Raiders, they gave him an overall grade in PFF of 63.9, so much better than what he got this past season. They gave him a run defensive grade of 76.9, really good grade there as a run defender, which again, truly what he excels at. They gave him a pass rush grade of 62.6, not too bad, not spectacular, but not terrible, and a coverage grade of 43.3. So he was better in coverage in 2019 than 2020. But again, you can see that coverage grade very low, significantly low, and is not someone you would want to put in coverage. And I mean, luckily enough for the Patriots, they have such depth there. They have depth in the secondary that he shouldn't have to play in coverage. He had a much larger role with the Dolphins also, playing a total of 516 snaps that season, 290 run defensive snaps, 47 pass rush snaps, and 179 coverage snaps. Teams definitely are using him way too much in coverage. I don't really understand why they're doing so, but I guess he was so high on these teams' depth chart that they didn't really have too much of a choice because they didn't have too much depth at that time. Again, if this was last year and the Patriots had signed him, he would have been a starter for them, and they would have had to have placed him in coverage because they didn't have depth. Luckily enough, if he does make the roster, the Patriots do have so much depth that he wouldn't have to be a coverage linebacker. What I've also noticed is that teams aren't using him too much in pass rush attempts. I would say that is the second best of his play. Of course, number one being a run defender. And of course, the most snaps that we've seen him getting with both teams here, both the Raiders and the Dolphins, is as a run defender. Overall, what we see here is that Belichick is significantly trying to stop the run defensively this year, which, of course, much needed after what we saw last season. And I don't necessarily think that McMillian will make the roster just because there's so much depth there, but he is someone that I definitely would not count out because he is such a pound the ball linebacker that can just shoot the gap and stop the run. Again, 2018 had a run defensive grade of 78.5. Again, if we're going to look at 2019, had a run defensive grade of 76.9. And then this past season had a run defensive grade of 56. But again, I wouldn't count this season too much because he was with the Raiders and they just did not utilize him. Each season, he was also able to record at least one forced fumble. So he is somebody that does specialize in, being able to punch the ball out. Overall, this guy just screams a Landon Roberts to me. We'll have to see if Belichick does decide to keep him around, but I know Belichick does like linebackers like this, so we'll just have to see how things go. But what are your guys' thoughts on this? We don't know the terms of the contract. We know it's a one-year deal, but other than that, we don't know how much money he's getting. I wouldn't expect it to be too much. If it's not too much money, I could see Belichick keeping around for depth purposes. Before we end this video off, I want to talk about the sponsors of this video, though, betonline.ag. Now, BetOnline has the fastest and easiest ways to bet on all of your sports action. Football might be over, but NBA, college basketball, and the NHL are still a full swing. BetOnline even covers awards, TV shows, and reality TV, along with real-time updated odds and props on almost anything you can imagine. And BetOnline also has you covered for all of the news, scores, and odds. And this is the best way for you to possibly place your bets. And the great thing is that it's completely free to sign up. All you have to do is head to their website, or you can even use your mobile device right now to sign up today and receive a 50% off welcome bonus on that first deposit. Don't sit on the sidelines anymore. Get in with the action. Don't forget to use the promo code CLNS50 to receive a 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. The Patriots add some depth here with a one-year deal, adding linebacker Raekwon McMillian. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. I appreciate you guys for watching this, and I'll catch you in the next one. Go Pats.